Sonic Cinema Audiobooks proudly presents The Rooftop Escape, a captivating story, narrated by Chris from 11 Labs. The cool night air stung his face as Alex stood on the rooftop, his chest heaving, the dull hum of the city beneath him. His pulse raced, but it wasn't just the cold, it was the two figures blocking his only escape. The goons had him cornered, their silhouettes cutting dark shadows against the moonlit sky. They weren't here to negotiate, and Alex knew it. His breath caught in his throat as his mind raced for a plan. The taller of the two, the one with the scar running across his cheek, took a menacing step forward. "There's nowhere left to run, Alex," he sneered, his voice low and cold. Alex's back was against the edge of the roof. Below him, a dizzying drop to the streets. There was no way down, at least not a safe one. But safe was no longer an option. His eyes darted to the left, spotting the old fire escape, rusted and barely hanging onto the next building. The gap between the rooftops seemed impossible, but it was his only shot. Without hesitating, Alex sprinted toward the edge, every muscle in his body screaming as he pushed off with all his might. The world seemed to slow as he sailed through the air, his arms flailing to catch the railing of the fire escape. His fingers grazed the cold metal just as his feet slipped off the ledge, but he caught it, barely. The metal groaned under his weight as he pulled himself up, adrenaline surging through his veins. Behind him, the two goons shouted in frustration, one already pulling out his gun. Alex scrambled up the fire escape, knowing the chase was far from over. The first bullet whizzed past his ear, striking the brick wall with a sharp crack. His heart pounded in his chest as he reached the rooftop, his boots pounding against the concrete as he leaped from building to building. The city blurred beneath him, windows, alleyways, neon signs all blending into a frantic rush of motion. The sound of gunfire echoed behind him, each shot a reminder that he was one misstep away from being taken down. As he darted across the rooftops, his lungs burned with each breath, but he couldn't slow down. The goons were relentless, their footsteps heavy behind him. Another bullet zipped past, shattering a pipe beside him, sending shards of metal flying. Alex barely ducked in time, feeling the heat of the near miss. His mind raced. He needed a way out, something that would give him an edge. That's when he saw it. The construction crane looming ahead like a giant rusted lifeline. Without thinking, he charged forward, leaping onto the steel beam, his hands gripping the cold metal as he swung into the air. The crane swayed under his weight, but Alex held on, his body twisting as he used the momentum to propel himself across the gap to the next building. Behind him, the goons struggled to follow, one slipping as he tried to mimic Alex's move, his grip faltering. Alex didn't wait to see the outcome. He dropped down from the crane, landing hard on the narrow alley below. His knees buckled from the impact, pain shooting through his legs, but he didn't stop. He forced himself up, blending into the bustling crowd that filled the streets, his heart still hammering in his chest. As the sirens blared in the distance, Alex slipped into the crowd, his pace slowing as he disappeared into the sea of faces. The city swallowed him whole, just as the police arrived to clean up the chaos he'd left behind. His pursuers were lost, but Alex knew this wasn't the end. It was just the beginning.